All right, so today we're diving into something that really caught my attention, and it's all about using AI for economic development.
Oh, very cool.
But it's not just any AI. It's this proposal for a network of AI agents, and they all work together to boost economic development, and the focus is specifically at the grassroots level.
Interesting.
Yeah, and what's even more interesting is not just like one AI trying to do it all.
Right.
We've got 3 different AI agents, Catalyst, Umoja, and Seraph, and they each have their own kind of specialty.
Okay, I like it already.
And get this, they're designed to operate across multiple decentralized frameworks.
That's really fascinating how they're proposing to use different frameworks to make the whole system more versatile and to have more of an impact. I think that's really key here.
Yeah, it's not limited to just one platform.
Right.
They can tap into virtuals, HoloWorld, OpenServ Eliza, all these different platforms depending on what they need to do.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's meet these AI agents.
Yeah, let's hear about them.
So first up, we've got Catalyst, which kind of seems like the brains of the operation.
Okay, the brains.
It's this data streaming hub, gathering all this information from all these different places. Government databases, NGOs, real-time systems.
So it's like a global network of sensors feeding it information.
Exactly. It's constantly getting all this information.
Yeah, and it's not just collecting it, it analyzes it too.
Right.
So like imagine this catalyst could predict maybe a coffee bean shortage because of climate change.
Oh, wow.
And it could actually tell farmers, you know, what you need to switch to a different variety that's drought resistant.
Okay.
That kind of insight can really save people's livelihoods.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it sounds like Catalyst could be really useful for all kinds of industries.
Oh, absolutely. Not just coffee, all sorts of things.
Right, not just reacting to problems, but like spotting new trends and opportunities.
Exactly, helping people get ahead of the curve.
That's really cool. Okay, so now we got all this data flowing into Catalyst.
Yeah.
How do we actually use it to like make a difference?
All right, how do we make it real?
Yeah, and that's where I think Umoja comes in, right?
Yeah, exactly. Umoja's our coffee expert.
So?
It takes all that data from Catalyst and says, all right, how does this apply to coffee specifically?
Okay.
So it can give farmers real-time information on prices, weather patterns,
Wow.
best practices for sustainable farming.
So it's not just dumping a bunch of data on them?
No.
It's actually helpful.
Exactly. It's helpful. It's like having a consultant, but it's AI.
Yeah, I was going to say, because they even mentioned in the proposal that Umoja uses OpenServ Eliza to provide personalized support.
Oh, yeah, that's really cool.
What would that look like?
Imagine a coffee farmer maybe in a remote village.
Okay.
And they need help with, like, export regulations.
Uh-huh.
Umoja could connect them with, like, an AI customer support agent.
Oh, wow.
And they could get help step by step, you know, answer their questions in real time.
So they would have this advisor in their pocket, basically.
Exactly, in their pocket. It's amazing.
That's really cool. Okay, so we've got Catalyst gathering data, Umoja using it to help the coffee industry.
Yeah.
Now, where does blockchain come in?
Ah, that's where Seraph takes the stage.
Okay, Seraph.
The on-chain analytics expert of the group.
Okay.
And this is where it gets even more interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
Seraph looks at all those blockchain transactions to find patterns and predict market movement.
So it's like this financial detective looking for clues.
Exactly, looking for clues to find opportunities and avoid risks.
Oh, that's cool. So like a crystal ball for crypto?
Kinda, yeah. But it can help like financial organizations or DAOs in the real world.
Okay, so how would that work?
Let's say a DAO is thinking about investing in a new DeFi project.
Okay.
Seraph can look at what's happening on-chain.
Okay.
How many transactions are happening? How are the tokens distributed?
Right.
Even what people are saying on social media.
And then they can see if it's legit.
Exactly. They can make a better decision and avoid getting scammed.
That's huge.
Right. It's pretty powerful. And it's not always about making money either. Seraph can help make sure things are fair and transparent in decentralized governance.
Okay, how so?
Well, it can track where the money is going in a DAO.
Okay.
See if there are any conflicts of interest.
Oh, I see.
Make sure decisions are actually what the community wants.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've got these 3 really powerful AIs, each doing their own thing.
Right.
But how do they actually work together? What connects them?
The magic word is interoperability.
Okay.
Interoperability.
They can talk to each other.
Yeah.
Even though they're on different systems.
Okay.
So you could have Catalyst gathering data on virtuals.
Uh-huh.
Umoja giving support on OpenServ Eliza.
Okay.
And Seraph is over on HoloWorld doing its blockchain thing.
Wow, they're like speaking different languages but understanding each other perfectly.
Exactly. And that's what makes this multi-framework approach so powerful.
Yeah, how so?
Because each framework has its own strengths, right?
Virtuals is great for global reach, getting the community involved. HoloWorld is super secure for exchanging data.
Right.
And OpenServ Eliza is perfect for that customized support.
Makes sense.
So the AI agents can pick and choose the best tool for the job.
Like a Swiss Army knife of decentralized tech.
Exactly.
I like it.
Okay. But how do we actually build all of this? The proposal talks about a 5-phase roadmap, but it's pretty vague on the details.
Yeah, you're right. Let's break it down a bit. Phase 1 is research and design.
Okay.
So figuring out who are we trying to help? Is this even feasible?
Makes sense.
And really importantly, setting up some ethical guidelines.
That's crucial. We've seen what happens when tech gets out of hand.
Right. We need to be responsible from the start.
Definitely.
Then phase 2 is all about data. Data integration and AI training.
Okay.
So Catalyst is going to start eating up all that data from everywhere.
Right.
Umoja and Seraph are going to school learning all about coffee and blockchain.
So they can be experts in their fields? Exactly.
Cool. But then how do they actually get out into the world?
Phase 3 is where it happens. Framework integration and tokenization.
Okay, tokenization, that sounds interesting.
This is where things get really exciting. Each AI gets put into its own framework.
Okay.
And they each get their own token catalyst, Umoja, Seraph.
Hold on, tokens. Are we talking crypto here?
Yep. This is where decentralized governance comes in. People who hold these tokens get to make decisions about each AI.
Oh, so they have voting rights.
Exactly. They can vote on new features, changes to governance, how the treasury is managed.
Wait, a treasury? There's actual money involved.
Absolutely. And that leads us to phase 4, pilot implementation.
Pilot implementation.
This is where we see if it actually works.
Okay.
Get some early adopters to try it out, give us feedback.
Real world testing.
Exactly. And this is where the money-making part starts too.
Okay, so let's talk money then. How does this whole thing generate revenue? Is this like a charity or are we trying to make a profit?
It's a bit of both, actually. The goal is to create something sustainable that benefits everyone.
Okay.
From the people building it to the people using it, everyone.
I like that.
And each AI will have its own way of making money based on what it does.
So give me an example. How could Catalyst generate revenue?
Well, a Catalyst has all this data, right?
Right. Tons of data.
So it could sell that data or insights to governments, NGOs, companies.
Okay.
Like, imagine a company wants to understand consumer trends in a specific area. Catalyst could analyze social media, news, weather patterns, all sorts of things.
Yeah, and give them a really comprehensive report.
Exactly.
That's really cool. What about Umoja? How could it make money in the coffee world?
Umoja could offer premium services to people in the coffee industry.
Okay.
Personalized market insights tools to optimize their supply chain.
Right.
Even connect them with buyers and sellers all over the world.
So like a small coffee farm in a remote village
Exactly.
could use Umoja to sell directly to buyers overseas.
Yeah. Cut out the middleman, make more money.
That's amazing. And what about Seraph in the crypto world?
Seraph could offer a lot of value to financial institutions and DAOs.
Okay.
Risk assessments for crypto investments, governance analysis.
Right.
Even custom dashboards to track on-chain metrics.
So a hedge fund could use Seraph to see if a new DeFi protocol is risky.
Exactly.
No?
Make sure they don't lose their money.
That makes sense. Okay, so we're making all this money with these AIs. Where does it all go?
That's where the treasury comes in.
Right, the treasury.
Each AI has its own treasury managed by the token holders.
So it's like a community-owned bank.
Kind of, yeah. The money is used for development, marketing, expansion.
Okay, so the money goes back into making the ecosystem better.
Exactly. Make it sustainable for the long term.
That makes sense. But what about the people holding the tokens? What do they get out of it?
Well, they get to have a say in how things are run because of their voting rights.
Right. They're the ones making the decisions.
And they can also make money if the tokens go up in value.
Okay, so they have a financial incentive to participate.
Exactly.
But couldn't that lead to like a speculative bubble? What's stopping these tokens from being just another pump and dump scheme?
That's where the buyback and burn mechanism comes in.
Buyback and burn.
Periodically, they'll buy back some of the tokens
Okay.
and destroy them permanently.
Okay, so there are fewer tokens available.
Exactly, which can drive up the value of the remaining tokens.
So it's like a built-in way to create long-term value.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see how this all works together, but I'm still curious about the bigger picture. Who are we actually trying to help with all of this?
Ultimately, it's about empowering communities and organizations.
Can you give me an example?
Imagine a community in a developing country.
Okay.
They could use Catalyst's data to find the best place to dig a well.
Wow.
Or predict how much food they'll be able to grow.
That would be incredibly helpful.
Right. Or a coffee cooperative using Umoja to connect with buyers overseas.
Cutting out the middleman and making more money.
Exactly. It's about giving them the tools they need to succeed.
I like that. It's like leveling the playing field, giving everyone a chance.
Exactly.
That's a really powerful vision. But let's be real for a second. There are always going to be challenges. What are some of the things that could get in the way of this actually happening?
One of the biggest hurdles is getting people to actually use it.
Okay, adoption.
Yeah, we need enough people using it for it to really work.
Makes sense.
We need to build trust and show people how it can benefit them.
Right. Convince them it's not some scary tech thing.
Exactly.
So assuming we can get people on board, what's next? What's the future look like for this whole ecosystem?
The final phase is all about scaling and expansion.
Scaling and expansion.
Once we know it works.
Right.
We need to make it bigger, better reach more people.
Okay.
More data, new features, maybe even go beyond coffee and finance.
So the possibilities are endless.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a brand new world we're creating here.
It's exciting to think about all the problems that we could solve.
It really is.
Okay. Before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I have one last question. You mentioned expanding beyond coffee and finance.
Yeah.
What other industries do you think could benefit from this kind of technology?
Oh, man. So many healthcare, education, environmental conservation.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
In healthcare, we could analyze patient data, create personalized treatments.
Wow, that's amazing.
In education, we could have learning platforms that adapt to each student's needs.
So everyone gets the best education possible.
Exactly. And for the environment, we could track deforestation, predict the impact of climate change.
Okay, so we're talking about solving some of the biggest challenges facing humanity.
That's the goal.
I'm ready to dive into those possibilities, but for now, let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we'll explore the final phase of this project.
Sounds good.
And what it all means for you, our listeners. All right, so we're back, and we've been talking about this network of AI agents.
Catalyst, Umoja, Seraph.
Right, and all the amazing things they can do.
All that data, all those insights.
Decentralized governance, the tokens, the revenue.
It's a lot to take in.
It really is.
Yeah.
But now I want to bring it back to you, the listener.
Right.
What does all of this actually mean for you?
Yeah, that's the important question. How can this actually help people?
Right, because it's easy to get caught up in the tech and the big vision.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it needs to make a difference in people's lives.
Absolutely.
So paint me a picture. How could this actually impact everyday people?
Well, imagine a small business owner in a developing country.
Yeah.
They could use Umoja to get a microloan.
Okay.
A loan that's specifically designed for their needs.
Right, so they could finally get their business off the ground.
Exactly. Or a student in a rural area.
Yeah.
They could use Catalyst to find scholarships.
Scholarships they never even knew existed.
Right. It's about opening up opportunities.
It's like giving everyone a fair shot, no matter where they live or what their background is.
Exactly. And it's not just about individuals either.
Yep.
This could change entire industries, whole communities even.
Okay, give me an example.
Think about a network of farmers using Umoja.
Okay.
To work together, they could coordinate their production.
Right.
Figure out the best way to distribute their crops.
So they can make more money.
Exactly. And make sure consumers are getting fair prices.
That's incredible.
Or a city using Catalyst to manage their energy grid better.
Okay.
Reduce waste, lower costs for everyone.
This is starting to sound like a utopia almost.
Well, we do have to be realistic. There will be challenges along the way.
Right. What are some of the roadblocks that could get in the way?
I think the biggest one is getting people to use it.
Yeah, adoption.
We need a lot of people on board for this to really work.
Critical math.
Exactly. We have to overcome skepticism, build trust.
And show people the real benefits.
Yeah, make it clear how this can make their lives better.
Right. Okay, so let's say we can do that. We can get people excited about this.
Then what?
What's next? What does the future hold for this ecosystem?
Well, the final phase is all about scaling and expanding.
Scaling and expansion, so taking it to the next level.
Right. Once we've proven it works, we need to make it bigger, better.
More data, new features?
Exactly. Maybe even go beyond coffee and finance.
So the possibilities really are limitless.
It's an exciting time to be working on this kind of technology.
It feels like we're on the edge of something huge.
It really does.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, Let's recap what we've learned.
Okay.
We've explored this idea of a network of AI agents,
Catalyst, Umoja, Seraph.
each with their own unique abilities.
Working together across all those different frameworks.
And the potential benefits are huge.
Empowering communities.
Driving economic development.
Creating a more equitable and sustainable future.
But it's important to use this technology responsibly.
Absolutely.
To think about the ethical implications.
To make sure it's used for good.
And to have open conversations about how to guide its development.
So that it benefits everyone.
And that brings us to our final question for you, the listener.
What do you think?
What are your thoughts on the potential of AI and decentralized technologies?
Are you excited?
Are you concerned?
We want to hear from you.
Share your thoughts.
Yeah.
Share your ideas.
This is a conversation that's just beginning.
And we all need to be a part of it.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a fascinating journey.
We'll see you next time.
On the Deep Dive.